So I've been hearing in the Carnival Cruise Line rules. By the way, this is JD, okay with it, over here and all this. So I just want to get into this, share my insight. Went on my first cruise. When was that? In the fall, I want to say. Yeah, it was straight. You know, I loved it. It was cool. I don't say I loved it, but it was cool though. Had a good time. Yeah, had a good time on the cruise. So let's get into this. And I'm going to show y'all what the new rules are and how that's going to apply to you going forward. Right? Let me get this off the screen right here. Okay. All right, let's talk about it. So let's talk about the first rule I see here. The first rule that I notice is curfew and youth supervision. All right, so they're going to have strict curfews for guests under 18 and are now being enforced. Parents are being warned that unsupervised minors found in public areas after curfew may be confined to their cabins or even disembarked at the next port. Carnival has issued direct warnings to parents, especially as summer brings more families aboard. Let's talk about that one real quick. Um, as we all know, some parents are not the best at keeping up with their kids in terms of supervision. And many of these cruises, kids have their own rooms, cabins, whatever you want to call them. And the parents have their own, obviously, unless, we don't get into that. But anyway, here are my thoughts on that. I agree with that change. I think that the kids should not be out. I was really shocked to see as many kids as I did on the cruise I went on, but I'm gonna get to that experience and we're gonna talk about that later. But I'm definitely all about number one, curfew and youth supervision. That is a must. If you're bringing your kids on these cruises, then it is required of you as a parent to make sure you know what your kids are doing and where they are at all times. So I'm all for that. Number two, zero tolerance for violence and disruption. Let's read that one. Any involvement in physical altercation leads to immediate removal from the ship and a permanent ban from future cruises. Disruptive behavior includes excessive drunkenness and rowdy conduct. Is grounds for fines, disembarkation, and lifetime bans. Okay, let's talk about that. First of all, why are we fighting on a cruise ship? Why? I understand there can be misunderstandings and things of that nature, but why are we fighting on a cruise? Yes, there may be disruption, but fighting, come on, violence, no. So for me, this is a biggie. And in light of what we saw online, went viral, Galveston, Texas, there was a brawl that broke out, and this was after the cruise. And all I took from that was that had been brewing for probably a while, and they just waited to get off the cruise before they engaged each other. So that's what I thought on that. So number two should be a given. Why are we going places fighting and inciting violence? Let's go to number three. Illegal substances and contraband. I'm not even going to read this one because this should be just common sense as well. With bringing on drugs, marijuana, cocaine, whatever your drugs of choice are, this one here should not even have to be explained or considered. Um, if you can't bring it on the train, you can't bring it on the plane, then you know you can't bring it on a ship. So that should just be obvious. Obvious, okay? So that one right there, no need even to talk about this. So I don't even know why there's a change. There should have been a rule anyway. All right, prohibited item list expanded. Okay, so portable speakers, radios, and similar devices are now banned to prevent public disturbances. Only personal listening devices with earphones are allowed in public places. The list of prohibited items also includes hard liquor, beer, and bottled beverages. Okay, let's speak on that. Okay, so for me, um, portable speakers, should they be banned? I think, well, no, I ain't gonna say that because even in the cabin, people don't know how to control the volume of their devices. So maybe that's one that needs to be changed. I'm kind of question mark on that one. Like, is that something? that really needs to be changed. But I get it, like you out on the public, people may not want to hear your music. I get it, y'all blasting it loud and all this here. So yeah, okay. All right. Environmental and safety policies. Throwing any item overboard is strictly forbidden and may result in a $500 fine. Mobility devices must fit within state rooms and cannot block hallways and exits. Okay, I know about that, like wheelchairs, hover rounds, things like that. So yeah. So I would suggest if you have a disabled grandparent or something like that, and they definitely need that device, then that may not be the cruise, or you may need to get accommodations on the cruise that would help accommodate them. Okay, and I think those are the main ones. I also heard they're no longer playing rap music in the clubs on this ship. So that's the thing. So again, new rules cruise lines had to add. I want to play this short real quick by this guy right here, and let's synchronize type of deal. So I don't see how that makes sense, but okay. Um, Let me stop sharing my screen at this point, and let me discuss and give you my closing comments. Right. Okay. So I've been on a cruise before. I went on my first cruise in the fall. I went with a group of my church members, and I can honestly say, yes, there were some things on the ship that, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. They really were. It was more catered to an urban audience. I would definitely say that. Two, the club was cool. I only went once on the whole time I was on the ship. Really wasn't interested in going to a club on the ship, to be honest. For the most part, man, I just ate. Man, me and my wife were hanging out, eating, looking forward to the excursions. We didn't get to go to Cozumel as we had planned. We went to Costa Maya. Costa Maya was kind of a disappointment because Costa Maya was more of a tourist trap, like, just for you to go in and buy and purchase and not necessarily go enjoy the sights and things of that nature. So nothing really there. They did have like a dolphin thing and whatever. Really wasn't impressed with that, but overall, my first cruise was not the most memorable. I mean, it was cool for the first time doing something, but there was one incident where we did see this lady, and she was like yelling very loudly in the dining room area. But outside of that, didn't really see a lot of foolishness going on. Although I was surprised to see so many children on the cruises, because I would figure, most adults will want to get away and not want to have their kids involved. But also, I could also see the other side of that, family vacays, all that kind of stuff, right? So, what do I think about the new rules on Carnival? Well, don't really have a problem with them per se. But again, I know who they are targeted at. It says racist. Yeah, you could say that, but is if a certain group of people is doing something that's disrupting the enjoyment of what others are doing, then you can call it racist. Or you can call it, hey, it is what it is, and that's that. So you can call it targeting if you want, but if you're targeting a certain group, why are they targeting that group? You got to give them a reason. Now, if this was unwarranted, unprompted reason to implement these new rules, I can understand it, but they seem to have a reason and they're going to stick to it. So I don't see this changing. What I do see changing, they may have a few less patrons on the boat, a few less passengers. We'll see. So this has plays out in the next year. We'll see if the sales continue to stay consistent, or will they drop. We'll see. But y'all, that's it for me. This is JD. Okay, with that old head knowledge. Hope y'all learned something today. And hey, man, enjoy yourself on these cruises and just try to conduct yourself, man, appropriately on these cruises. That's all I got to say on it. All right, y'all. Peace. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.